Do your parents know what you're doing at school?
My parents know what I'm doing at school because they're staff members, so of course they know what I do.
The same with me, because both of my parents staff at the school, so they know everything I do.
They feel free to tell me. So I have a pretty good idea of what they're doing. In fact, my 6-year-old she'd like to sometimes see if she can push my buttons by telling me, I saw an M video today. But she's no worse for wear.
They know as much as I choose to tell them, which basically means that that when I first started going to Sudbury Valley, I didn't really like talking about it because I just wanted to be able to go there, not feel like I was under the watchful eye of my parents. I started to feel more comfortable not worrying about what they think. Also now that I'm older and I'm not as dependent on them. So now they pretty much know what I do.
Whenever a parent comes with doubts to the staff and asks, what did my daughter do today? The staff always comes to us and says, is it okay with you if I talk to your parents about you or about your day or what you do at school? And they never do it without the kid's approval. It's sometimes without the kid, sometimes in the kid's presence, which is also, it's great to know we're not being judged, not to our knowledge, not in front of us, not behind our backs. No one judges, and that's also an incredible thing.
I sort of believe that it's best if the parents aren't involved too much. Yeah, because I tend to think that the students generally act differently when there's parents around. That's the way I see it.
Well, my parents staff at the school, but it's not like I spend a lot of time around them because I'm around them all the time at home. But I think it's fine for them to staff at the school just as long as they're not in your face.
I don't really want to be part of the school day. I think it's, I have an impact if I'm there. My daughters are going to be, behave differently. I mean, they're going to, my 6-year-old, when I have come during the day, it's like she'll climb on my lap. I mean, being their mother, they would feel less free, I think, with me around. So I would rather be involved in everything else, outside of it, organizing camping trips, there's a lot of ways I like being involved, but not being there during the school day.
I think it would be hard being a parent and being there, because you might hear your child swearing or something like that, or playing violent games or whatever it is, and I think that's probably the hardest part, and they still want to be the parent of you, and I think that would be the hardest part.
I mean, it really depends on the kid and depends on the parent, but I think for most parents, of most kids, they tend to make the kids less comfortable just being themselves. But that's not to say that parents are not involved at all in school. Parents are voting members of the school assembly, which doesn't really have a day-to-day management function, but does sort of approve the budget at the end of the year and is the legal governing body of the school. And there's certainly, I think in most Sudbury schools, certainly at Sudbury Valley and Greenwood, welcome to come and go, into the school. They're just not regular members of the school community.
I'm a member of the school assembly. I'm also on the board of trustees. We have something that other schools don't have, but it's been a nice thing for our school, which is we have a parents club. And the mission of the parents club is so that parents can meet and express concerns. We have a monthly meeting, and it's where we can talk about it, so people can, bring up and say, gee, my child is playing video games 6 hours a day, and people can explain why video games are a valuable way to spend time. And it has been a really nice support, way of getting support because a lot of us, have family members, have, blood relations that don't support this way of schooling.
And then we also have social events, which for the parents that are anxious, always turn into philosophical discussions because they always go find a staff member and they got to dump out all their concerns, and you end up talking about philosophy the whole time. And so they're not really very social, but at the same time we have like cake and coffee and things like that,
I actually like to let them know I think it's a healthy thing when they worry. If they're not worried, it makes me worry. Because I think they are doing something that hardly anyone else in this country and the world chooses to do. And at the same time, and I think they need a huge amount of support to do that. And I think one of the best lessons that they can be helping their children through is just taking responsibility for that whole process of their education.